Maayong buntag Bukidnon. Thank God I'm fine.
Ika-16 nga adlaw sa bulan sa Pebrero tuig 2022. Season 3 na kita sa atong programa nga Thank God I'm Fine, a BukSU-GAD initiative. Kini nga programa usa ka innovation project sa Bukidnon State University alang sa katawhan sa probinsya. Ang programang maghisgot bahin sa kalambuan ug hagit sa gender and development. Ako si Maida Jane L. Obilas, ang GAD Coordinator sa Secondary School Laboratory sa College of Education ni ining atong universidad.
Ug ako si Chanel Mary J. Saison, ang GAD Coordinator sa COE Elementary Department. Atong paghisgutan karong buntag tunong sa selebrasyon sa Love Month. It's February. Ang episode karon mahitungod sa courtship ug gugma with the hashtag Ako'y sayo, ikay akin.
Apan sa dili pa kita moadto sa atong hisgutanan, atong pagtimbaya sa atong university officials pinanguluhan sa atong supportive nga president Dr. Oscar B. Cabanieles. Sa atong mga Vice Presidents, VPA-PD, Mr. Victoria, VPAA, Dr. Abiwela, VP Ray, Dr. Mirasol, o ang atong Gender and Development Focal Person, Dr. Montesilio. Deans, chairpersons, faculty, and staff. Ingon man usab sa atong mga FB viewers, maayong buntag kanatong tanan.
Sayro nato karong buntaga from our guests. We are very much honored to have them. Kaning gitawag na courtship ug ang mga proseso niini. Usab ang mahitungod sa gugma ug respeto kung kauban bagyod kini sila. Dugang pa, aduna bay mga bantiyanan sa usa ka relasyon ug kining gitawag na red flags na dili na maayo. Kini nga mga hisgutanan alang sa mga plano manguyab, alang sa may hinigugma na or uyab, ug sa mga anaan na sa relasyon. Atong ilailahon karon atong mga guest, Ma'am Maida, please do the honors.
Yes, Teacher Sean. Ang atong guests today are both serving in the Bethel Baptist Hospital since 2004. Doc Jane is an active practice as family medicine and ambulatory diabetes specialist, and si Doc Troy as medical director and radiology consultant both in BPH and other private and government hospitals. So classmates sila, Teacher Sean, throughout their pre-med, BS Biology and Medicine courses in Xavier University. For 8 years, classmates sila. Both finished their respective specialization in NMMC and took first training in Manila. So they are married for 19 years and blessed with 3 children, all boys. Luke Andre, 18, Hans Matthew, 16, and Johan Isaac, 14. So currently, Teacher Sean, they are serving as ministry coordinators of the Family Ministry of Christ Commission Fellowship, or CCF, in Malaybalay. So the family ministry is a movement dedicated to helping families take steps closer to God and to each other by providing relevant and transformative Bible-based seminars, workshops, and retreats for couples to build solid and for parents to develop good parenting skills. These workshops are also open to singles who are planning to start a family, fully acknowledging that they are not perfect or even experts as a couple and parents. They consider themselves as works in progress and recognize the full need to be totally dependent on the one who truly loves perfectly and unconditionally, the Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ, His Son. So atong i-welcome mga igsuon si Dr. Troy and Dr. Jane Del Munto. Doc, inyong pagtimbaya sa atong mga suking tigpaminaw.
Salamat kay Ma'am Sean and Ma'am Maida for having us. Salamat po and mayong buntag sa BukSU community and to all your listeners right now.
And yes, good morning everyone. Good morning Bukidnon State University. It's nice to be back sa DxBU also, and belated Happy Hearts Day to everyone.
Good morning, Doc Troy and Doc Jane. Sa gi-describe ni Ma'am Maida, kamo na gyud ma'am and sir, Doc. Kamo na gyud ang epitome of a perfect couple. And we are very much honored to have you as our guests and also very proud and grateful to have you as our frontliners. So, Doc, before sa atong pangutana, aduna kita gihimo nga interview sa tulok ka estudyante diri sa BukSU to also have their perspective. Special thanks to Novi and Miss Novi and Miss Jam from COE and also Mr. Lawrence, our SSC president, for accepting the interview for the responses. Now, atong atong tan-awon ug paminawon karon ang ilang mga responses.
Courtship is important because it allows a person to learn how to have respect and value each other.
I think courtship is important because it symbolizes earning of love through perseverance, determination, and untiring works of proving a man's intention to a woman. Since love constitutes those three actions or aspects, I think it is righteous to earn it also with those factors. Courtship represents man's efforts, love itself.
I think courtship is important because during this stage you will know the intentions of the person, as well as you will also get the opportunity to know the person better.
Successful courtship breaks every soul's tie. Each must be ready to be loyal and faithful to the partner.
Number 2. What do you consider as factors of a successful courtship? I think some factors of a successful courtship include not just proving the intention of a man towards his love, but also understanding the woman's life and heart more. Courtship does not end before marriage, rather it should continue until the end. I think it is because a couple might lose their spark gradually, and courtship should be part of uplifting their love.
The factors that determines the successfulness of the courtship is when both of you has established good rapport, respect, understanding, loyalty, faithfulness, trust with each other, even at the early stage of you knowing each other.
Love means knowing that no matter what happened, you have someone to count on. And love that it isn't respectful will turn out to be unhealthy or toxic.
What is love? Can it exist without respect? I think love cannot exist without respect. Respect may come from the perception of people that others should be regarded with honor and care, but furthermore, giving other people the honor and the care that one may think they deserve is a form of thoughtfulness, and you cannot love others without being thoughtful to him or her.
Well, I think love is a commitment, and love cannot exist without respect, because respect is the foundation of all relationship, may it be in family, friends, or loved ones.
Showing respect to the one you love is by listening to them and what they stand for or what they believe in.
How do we show respect to someone you love? I think respecting someone can also mean understanding that person. When we love someone, we also need to understand them as who they are, what they like and dislikes, their likes and dislikes. Thinking and understanding even the minute details of them is considered respecting them, and as a sign that we can connect with them.
You can show respect to someone you love by listening and being empathetic with them, and also you get to understand that both of you are different, and with that differences, you are willing to work it out.
Disrespecting each other is what I consider as red flag because it is the root of all the negativities that may happen in a relationship.
What are the red flags to watch out in a relationship? I think some of the red flags that we need to watch out for in a relationship are manipulative behaviors, someone who tolerates abuses, and even the combination of the two, plain affection. This is because these behaviors abide selfishness and pride. Two of those traits that diminish love. Manipulation affects compassion, tolerating abuse may be an effect of someone loving the thought of other accepting her, not the person.
Some of the red flags in a relationship, I think, includes one being disrespectful with other people, especially with those people who have ordinary jobs, and also when he gets to tolerate his friends lying or cheating.
Maila ang usa ka tawo og mahibal-an kung usa ka sincere ang intention. So, atong pangutana sa atong guests is, mga Doc, do you agree with this? Dayon, let us hear from Doc.
Yes, Ma'am Maida, the respondents answered very excellently. We recognize the importance of courtship, kaya it's the stage manggod when we get to know each other. Remember, when two persons meet, they are coming from different backgrounds, upbringing, educational background, attitude and behavior, and family. So we need that courtship stage para mas mailhan nato ang isa't isa.
Doc Jane, perhaps you can say something also.
That's true. Let us all remember that the main purpose of courtship really is that you desire for the other person to be your future husband or your future wife, which means nga it is very important nga naa mo ana nga stage to know each other, no? So tama tong gisulti sa mga estudyante. They answered it so well.
Thank you, Doc. And then another, allow us to give other questions, Doc, no? Dughang pangutana. Ingon sa atong mga respondents, for the courtship to be successful, kay dili lang to nila nagpakita og sa intention, no? Getting to know each other, but pagsabot usab kung unsa o kinsa ang imong gihigugma. Og ingon si Sir Lawrence, one of the respondents, og kini dili kinahanglan kuno nga magpadayon o bisan pa after the courtship no kanang panaguyab kinahanglan kuno usab ka magpadayon even during marriage kay there will come a time nga mawala kuno ang spark and kaning courtship no bisag mag-ayon na mo kuno siya ang mo rekindle sa spark. So sa ikasulti ninyo ani Doc?
Yes, that's very true, no? Di ba sa unang panahon there are ways to make ligaw sa mga atong gusto, but nowadays it seems na murag online naman siya tanan, no? So the courtship should continue even after marriage, or even it should kanang padayon gyud siya permanently. And one way is really to find time for each other now na magstorya mo, and even after marriage, even until now we do sometimes, kasi kahit busy mi sa hospital, we text each other na thinking of you or miss you, even if pagdungan may pamaha or something like that. In the past, before the onset of telephone, we exchange post-its, posting it in our refrigerator, or sometimes katong dili pa may married, I sneak in small messages in his textbook or his so padayon siya. And even after now that we are a bit older, we really find time to escape me from our children, to have our own time. Though it has to be in the context of age also, ha, kay basin ang mga high school would want to do that, which is if you are not yet ready for marriage, avoid dating. Kasi magkaiba yun. Avoid dating alone because you might get tempted to have sexual immorality. So when you are ready na to meet responsibilities, then that's the proper time for courtship.
Siguro gamay lang additional, ma'am. Dating and courtship comes naturally kung mga singles pa, no? Sayo na siya. Pero it is even more important, and it could be a challenge, but it is even more important to really maintain it and even make sure that it really happens after marriage. Kay sakto gito. Because of the demands of the family, sometimes malimtan na to ang the romantic side of it. So we still need that even if we are already married.
Yes, and sometimes I intentionally kanang send some cute messages for Dr. Troy in the chat group of the hospital, just not to embarrass him, but just to show that I'm willing and I'm willing to let others know that I love him.
Wow, thank you, Docs. No, so Teacher Sean, makasana all kay taan ni Teacher Sean, no? So, again, ang ingon nila is continue courtship even if marriage. But for our students, our learners who are still listening, make sure to consider your age in this context. So, find time for each other even if you're already married. So, if naka-yes na siya, find time gihapon. So, salamat kayo sa inyong mga tubag, Doc, no? Ani nasabta sa gugma. Nagkalain-lain ang definition kuno sa gugma. But sa inyo, Doc, unsa gyud kining gugma o unsaon pagkabalo that what we feel towards the other person is really love. And also, mag-uban ba gyud ang respeto o ang gugma? Any one of you can answer, Doc.
Okay, ikaw na. Sige, I'll answer the first question sa murag kwanto siya, no? Murag combo ang question nga itong na-receive. First of all, siguro the definition of love. Dagang kayo makuha ang definition ay mga kanta nga define sa love. Pero it is important for us to realize na tani nga love, we cannot manufacture it on our own. So kung unsa man galing ang love nga ato mapakita, it is because we have also experienced it. And of course, since we are in the family ministry, we always believe that love really comes from God. So kung unsang atong pag-ila sa Ginoo, that's really an overflow. So if we are going to define love in the context of what God has done, it is really a commitment towards an imperfect person. So yun nakaayo mag-commit kung perfect ang isa ka tao. Pero true love really is a commitment towards an imperfect person. And that commitment involves seeking their highest good. So dili lang ako apirme, pero I will also seek what is good for that person. And in the process, when you seek their highest good, it is often requiring sacrifice. So naay commitment, naay desire to make that person better. And last of all, but not least of all, is that love is always sacrificial. It will always require you giving up something. So yeah, that's how we define love.
Yeah, it's also very important to note na the object of your love is an imperfect person. And because the word perfect sometimes be according to context of your definition. Ano ba yung perfect ko? Ito yung nakikita ko sa movie. Ito yung nababasa ko sa book. Yung perfect mo is also dependent on your background as a family. Ito yung gusto kong family. Ito yung naranasan ko sa family. So, magkakaiba yung babae at saka sa imong husband or sa imong lalaki or sa babae. Para yung definition ng perfect is quite different. So that's why you have to realize that the object of your love is imperfect and the goal is to seek His highest good. No? So, what's the other question? Ano nga yun? So,
mag-uban ba, Doc, ang gugma o
yeah.
ang respeto?
Yes, I think they really have to coexist, no? I mean, part of loving is also respecting. You know, pag ang imong object of love is imperfect, that requires a lot of respect. Paano yung views niya? Magkaiba kayo ng views. Politics can sometimes separate you, di ba? But if you respect each other, even during the kind of moments of differences, you ma-settle agapon siya. Because your common goal, pareho kayo ng goal to seek the highest good of each other. So, it has to coexist. Love and respect must coexist.
Yeah, I agree with that. No? Respect is really an overflow of love. No? So, dili mauna ang respect, then only then will you love. It's really an overflow. Because you love that person, it comes naturally. Na imo gid siyang tagaan og respetar, no? And you always try to consider that in the relationship.
All right, nindot kayo. Tinuod gyud, Doc, no? It's really an overflow, and because we love the person and kanang love gyud nga in a biblical kind of itong definition na it's self-sacrificial. It's really about commitment. It's thinking the good of the other person pati imong gigugma before yourself. So that's really very wonderful thing to think about, to ponder about. Now, Ma'am Maida, allow me to give another question because our speakers, they've already given a lot a lot of tips and actually a lot of very good sharing about what really love is. But Doc, I know you've heard about red flags and sad to say na kani nga mga red flags makita usab kini sa mga relasyon katong especially nga naa na karon sa relasyon like kaning mga manipulation as what was mentioned by kanang one of the respondents, like especially for our youth kada bitong mga batan-on nato Doc nga if you love me you have to do this, if you love me kanang ingana ang mga butang Doc ba. And also there's the abuse already, kanang pag-manipulate, pag-abuse. Now, can you expound about this, Doc?
Yes, yung mga toxic na relationship is ikuha na siya kanang ang mga red flags ani is you familiar with the word nga you complete me. Di ba ingon si ma'am na you do this because if you do this it means that you love me or you complete me. But the truth is nobody can actually complete a person. What kanang it's a ang pag-complete sa person is murag vacuum na siya that God can only do that. So it is very tiring to complete another person. Ang isa ka red flag ana is if one of the couple is asking more than what the other couple can give, no? So murag sige siya pangayo and it becomes draining to the giver. So a good relationship is something na dapat give and take, and so it is enriching. Tama yon, yung disrespect, yung the other person is controlling you, and also you are scared, yung parang mahadlok ka and you tend to be dishonest kay mahadlok ka nga so you give a false front para lang ma-please on the other person. The purpose of courtship is really to know each other, not so you don't have to give a false front, di ba?
Gamay lang siguro ng additional, no? I'm assuming we are talking about toxic relationships, no? And the term itself, toxic, sa hospital, sige naman na siya ginagamit. When we say toxic, it means unhealthy or risky. So a toxic relationship is exactly like that, no? It really goes against the essence of a relationship. Kaya ang relationship ko, no, just like communication, it should be two-way. So kung pananglitan, that relationship is draining you more than it's making you better, that's really a toxic relationship. Some of the red flags siguro, katong na-mention ni Doc Jane, is the lack of respect and trust for each other. You begin to suspect na, usahay, murag irrational na kayo ang pagduda nimo sa imong partner, or sometimes you want to control that person already and it could be very choking, no, for that person, for the other partner. So that's another sign of being in a toxic relationship. And kato, if you begin to think that your world revolves around that person, na kumawala siya, dugay siya mag-reply, di siya mutubag sa imong tawag, nawa na gyud, daot na gyud imong adlaw, that is a red flag, definitely a red flag. So you are now beginning to wrap yourself around that person. So siguro daghan pa, pero kato sa amo ang remember na mo kato.
Okay, Doc, no? Salamat kayo, Doc Troy and Doc Jane, sa inyong paghatag, sa inyong mga buluwanon nga pulong karong adlaw. Daghan kaayog reminders even in the short period of time, no, nga given sa ato. Hinaot nga ma-apply gyud kini sa atong mga suking tigpaminaw, labi na sa mga hinigugma nila o sa mga gapangita pa ang mga pagtulunan karong buntaga, hinaot unta nga mutatak gyud sa ilaha. So sa dili pa ta matapos sa atong programa, Doc Troy and Doc Jane, can we have parting words from you para sa atong mga listeners?
Sige, I'll go first, and this will be short lang. As I have said earlier, love is something that we cannot manufacture on our own. So we have to get it from a source. And the Bible says God is love. So meaning, if we want to be a loving person, we first have to know the source of that love. God also is the one who instituted marriage. Iyaman tong idea nga he saw that Adam, it is not good for a man to be alone. So it was really his idea to institute marriage. So sad to say, sometimes in our marriages, we leave God out of the equation. When in fact, He wants to be the front and center of that marriage. Siguro bisan pag dili marriage, bisan pa sa courtship stage pa lang, always invite God to be the center of that relationship because He is the source of your love for each other.
Yes. That's true, no? And before we go, I'd like to address also the youth of our listeners also because they sometimes you have a wrong definition of we interchange dating and courtship. And I want there is no really such thing as being ready for that courtship, but a good sign that you are ready is if you are mentally and spiritually and emotionally mature. And I should add, you also need to be financially mature because if you want to really parang build relationship, you don't want to destroy that by making a problem na wala ko ipalit og gatas kasi accidentally na pregnant or wala ko ipalit bayad sa bill, no? So you have to be really mentally, spiritually, should I mention physically, especially for the young, that the younger you are, you're not physically ready. And then most especially also spiritually ready for the commitment because it's a commitment. No such thing as a short courtship or a long courtship. It should be, the goal is really to know each other and should aim to be, iniisip mo na talaga na magiging asawa mo siya in the future. So, yun. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Doc Troy and Doc Jane, sa inyong mga bulawanan ng gipang share. We can actually never thank you enough. But salamat kayo for giving us your time. And we hope to have you again for our upcoming episodes. I hope nga, usog ko hapon mo despite sa inyong busy schedules. O sa patong paghuman mo sa ngalan sa kinatibuk-ang pwersa sa Sibiyahanan, DXBU 104.5 FM, uban sa atong station manager, Sir Rod Bolivar, sa ato ang technical department, with Sir Gab Diwalay. Ako si Chanel Mary J. Saison, kauban si Ma'am Maid L. Obilas with our two doctors, Doc Troy and Doc Jane. Hantod na usab sa sunod nga Miyerkules, alas 8:20 sa buntag sa atong programa. Thank God, I'm fine. Maayong buntag,
Ayong
Bukidnon.
buntag, Bukidnon.
Bye!
Thank you.